Sorry, this is a long post, but I'm a little over a year from finding out, and I'm going nowhere with trying to salvage this relationship. I know everyone thinks you're simping, but hear me out. I've seen these posts on YouTube in the past, but I never thought I'd be here looking for help. I'm optimistic about the potential it will have, so thanks everyone who comments. My wife and I met in college and got married right after. I joined the military, and I'm very confident she was faithful the whole time. We had a good group of friends that she was able to rely on when I deployed. And contrary to the stereotype of cheating women during deployments, it's really hard not to get caught, though it does happen. We had 3 kids along the way. They are my splitting image, by the way, hence why I haven't bolted. And long story short, I was never home during my last posting, and it was only going to get worse as I continued to get promoted. So I decided to get out. I decided to get out at 10 years old. That's typically the crap or get off the pot moment in the military, as it doesn't make financial sense to get out after that. Orders are at least 3 years, and retirement is 20 years. So I decided to start over at the bottom of corporate America in order to be a great father. My wife was not happy about this in the least. Another long story short, she doesn't handle uncertainty well, and was comfortable in the life we had built together in the military. Which is odd, seeing as she always complained about how I was gone too much. She gave me a laundry list of demands about where it would be, how much I needed to make, etc., and cried a lot. Everyone knows you have to go where the jobs are, but I gave it my best, and you wouldn't believe how blessed we were. I got a job in the correct state, check. Within driving distance to my parents, because she loves them. They are perfect, check. Making what military people would consider a crap ton, 6 figures. Check. Public schools are best in the metropolitan area. Check. Low HOA fees. Everyone's polite. Oh, and did I mention that she was constantly complaining about not being able to start her career because we moved too much in the military? Which is true. Within 3 months, she got her dream job, if you want to call it that. Doesn't make much, but she always wanted to do it. And I was behind her 100%, like I am for everything she does, which she has since admitted. Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, I'm on r/surviving infidelity, so it was. It was good while it lasted, which was all of 1 year. I was home, not deployed, always coached all my kids' sports teams, and had great neighbors to hang with on holidays. Counting the time she was employed, it only took her 5 months to start cheating on me with her boss. An important thing to note, it will sound arrogant, but I need to set the stage. Being in the military, I was lean and focused on endurance, for obvious reasons. About 6 months from getting out, I decided I was tired of being tired during my workouts, so I started lifting weights. I gained 20 pounds of muscles. Like I said, it sounds arrogant, but I've always been above average looking. But at 5'9", I'm automatically out of the Don Juan Club. Once I changed my physique, though, I noticed my social status increased dramatically. Women would actually check me out on the fly and stare. One of her nasty friends subtly solicited me once. I'm pretty sure my wife never noticed any of this because she's the jealous type and never said anything. I can tell you, as a religious man, I never took advantage of any opportunities in any way. I didn't rub it in my wife's face to boost my ego. I didn't flirt with other women. Certainly not bang them. It was just a nice feeling that I'm sure anyone who's attractive can attest to. My wife didn't really seem to care though, and only said, "If your neck disappears, you need to stop." Kind of a disappointing response, but I felt like that meant she loved me for me, and not the shape of my body. The Zex never changed after I started lifting weights, which was fine, because it was good. Honestly, no complaints from either of us. And she even said, after the affair, that the AP had impotency issues. We'll get to it. So why in the world, I'm thinking, did my wife cheat on me? I still don't feel like I know. Trying to be a good dad, I was taking my kids to a stadium event, and I got this text while standing in the ticket line from a woman who says she's the wife of the man she's having an affair with. I look at it and laugh out loud and showed it to my wife because I'm honestly thinking this jealous wife is upset that her husband has to work with my pretty wife. My wife is very beautiful, and I still feel that way, even though the attraction is gone, which is an odd feeling. I instantly show it to my wife and say, "Look at this," and start laughing. My wife sees it And that's when I realized combat was only a certain level of hell a man can go through. Dante designed the ninth level treason for a reason, and it's because it's unbearable. It's like being shot. You can feel something is wrong, but you're not sure what. It's painful and things are just off. Like a compass is in some sci-fi movie where the magnetic poles are non-existent. I just went through the motions during the stadium event for the kids, and when we got home and they were in bed, it was WTH time. She said, "We got really close these past couple of months and we held hands during lunch together." Unbearable. Then the next day it was, "Yes, we kissed 4 times." I cried like a female dog and imagined what divorce would be like, but I decided to go to counseling before I made any rash decisions. Then, after 6 weeks, I just felt like she was still lying. So I lied and told her I asked AT&T for text messages. My wife deleted the text at the stadium event after she saw my phone. AT&T would send them in 48 business hours, and if she left anything out, I was gone. She broke down and spilled the beans. I thought I should contact Dante and tell him, "Hey, there's another level down here." So yeah, it was everything but the old Hershey Highway, which neither of us have been into. I reinforced over those 90 minutes that if anything was left out when I read the text messages, I would be gone, and she 100% believed me. After she found out I was lying later that night, she didn't seem to care either. She was relieved she had gotten it off her chest. She told me she cheated because she wasn't happy. Being unhappy is nothing new, though. Any major decision I've made, she's unhappy about it. See the paragraph where we had a perfect life here after the military. And even decisions out of my control, she frets over. One military posting was in Hawaii, for goodness sake. And for the first year, she was miserable. Can you believe that? I'm not drunk. At least I wasn't. Or missive. We would go on hikes together, go out on date nights. I'm not sure what else I could have done. Through counseling over the preceding weeks, I can see where I needed to improve as a husband. Our love languages were the antithesis of each other, but who doesn't? She would say I wouldn't do my fair share of chores around the house, even though I would wake up at 5 a.m. to work out, get the kids to school, go to work, rush home for their practices, and walk in at 7:45 p.m. Monday to Friday. Her job puts her home at 3 p.m. There's a lot of stuff that happened those first few months, but ultimately the only reason I'm still around is because of the kids. I honestly can't stand to be around her most times and would be gone in a heartbeat, but I don't want my kids growing up in a broken home. I just can't imagine it. I go through bouts of drinking for days at a time after kids' bedtime, then abstinence, then drinking again. We hardly ever had sex now. She wants it, but I have to be very aroused to even entertain the thought. Ultimately, I feel like she found reasons to justify the affair, which I'm sure was exciting and youthful and just a blast. And now I just hate thinking about how I'm stuck with this woman for the rest of my life. The thing that irks me is she cheated on me with what I would consider a loser. The guy is over 10 years her senior, bald, not out of shape, but not in shape by any means, and impotent. She said I'd see that in the text messages when she thought I had them. A complete failure of a career. Have to take my word on it. Don't want too much specific information out there, but he's been in the same position for decades. He does have a height of 6'3" or 6'4", though, and he was her boss, so I guess those two qualities are enough to entice a woman to cheat? I don't get it. Anyway, I know this is long, and for those who cared enough to even finish reading, I appreciate it. And I'm interested in your thoughts on this or anything I need to clarify. I know it was all over the place, but it's been about 13 months since all this went down. Anyone else stay in it for the kids? Success stories? I hope? We have reached the end of the story. Let's listen to some of the comments by our Reddit listeners. Comment 1. Staying in it for the kids is only going to ensure that they're worse off down the road, my man. They're not stupid and will pick up on the wrong just as you did that day. I learned this lesson the hard way. Comment 2. Did she leave that job? Did she cut off contact? Adopt an open phone policy? No unexplained overtime? No unexplained absences? What is she doing to rebuild trust? OP reply. Over the course of the following 3 months of me finding out, she finally got her mind straight and is doing all the right things someone in her position can do. It just doesn't seem to be helping, unfortunately. I'm so mad at her on the inside. We do go out for dinners and hang out with friends, but it's tough. Just to be clear, she did leave her job after I promised I wouldn't divorce her right away. But your point is still valid. Thank you for your input. Comment 3. Is she remorseful for the affair? You mentioned she is doing everything right now, but still, I can see why you are resentful. She had a Zexville vacation and now has a better marriage since you two have done the counseling. All I can say is do not bottle up your emotions because eventually you will walk away. You will have to remind her it is her job to heal you from all the damage she has done. OP reply. Interesting. I do feel like we're back where we were before the affair. I've expressed myself in the past, but find myself wanting to tell her the same things like, why on earth were you this dumb? I know about the pill affairs though, so I think I'm finding myself wanting her to have a more valid excuse other than she's a failure, if that makes sense. I want a reason to want to be with her, while the current answer is her just succumbing to animal instincts. Completely turns me away. 100%.